Well, I guess we should move on to the second one we watched.
Oh no, really?
Also by an author.
All right.
I think we're gonna have quite similar feelings about this this movie, to be honest.
Oh no.
I made a lot of mental notes while watching this movie. We're talking about Old.
Old. Yeah.
Yeah.
M Night Shyamalan's 2021 movie.
It was 2021?
Came out last year, yeah.
Okay.
I guess we both watched it recently because it came to streaming. It's now streaming on Amazon Prime in Japan. I actually saw it in the DVD rental store recently, and it was like on the bottom shelf, kind of hidden away.
Where it probably belongs. So the premise of this movie is a group of vacationers end up on like the private beach of some resort, and they are mysteriously like aging at a like hypersonic speed, where like 1 minute is like a couple hundred days or something like that, or like a lot of time.
I guess for this review, definitely we can't talk about it without spoilers. So if you haven't seen it, watch it before listening, or don't. It'd still be entertaining, I think. Yeah, so as you mentioned, these like holiday makers, I don't know where they are. I think they're in like the Caribbean or like somewhere like that, some tropical place. But yeah, they arrive at this holiday resort and they're having breakfast, and like the shady manager of the resort comes over.
Before you continue, like I think during that scene, or like right at the beginning, like right when they arrive,
Yeah.
the like mother character for the main family, like after they get there, she looks to her husband and says, "Can you believe I found this place online?" And it's like, huh? Don't you find every hotel online? What kind of question is that?
There are a
Was
lot
the
of
script written in like 1995?
there are a lot of lines in this movie that make no sense at all, and they're delivered so badly as well.
Oh no.
Dude, it's horrible. Specifically, all the child characters in this movie like behave like they are not human. They behave like they're like aliens.
To be honest, no one in the movie behaves like they're human, really. Even the adults do some really bizarre things and say some really strange things.
Yeah.
Insane script. I think he also wrote The Happening.
Oh no.
If he wrote The Happening and then saw the reaction to that movie, why would he think it's a good idea to write more movies?
He might be one of those people that like completely blocks out criticism.
Sure, yeah, I think that's quite possible.
Like they put the movie out during production, they're surrounded by yes men. You know, they're not gonna like question his directing or his writing. And when it comes out, he just might put the blinders up and not look at any review.
I'm actually curious to know what this movie grossed, because I feel like his movies all make money. Yeah,
I know, like back in the 90s, in the early 2000s, he was like a celebrity status director. Like for when he was making Unbreakable, Sixth Sense, Signs.
what was the one in The Village?
The Village.
Is it called The Village? Oh, it is called The Village.
It's called The Village. Yeah, that, yeah. And at least for me, like, it seems like when Lady in the Water came out, his popularity or his talent started to wane. Because after that, I can't think of like any movie he's made.
What do you think the budget was on this movie?
Considering it looks like a made-for-TV, like Lifetime channel movie,
Right.
probably extremely cheap.
Not super cheap.
I'd
The
imagine.
budget was $18 million. What did it make in the worldwide gross?
5.
5 million?
I'm only guessing. I
It
don't
made
know.
90.
I'm thinking it came out
It made 90 million.
90.
70 million profit.
That's unfortunate.
But you see, that's what I mean. That's why I think he might live in that bubble, because I think his movies do make money.
The only thing that was clever about the movie was like the ending, like plot reveal.
I thought the actual idea is not a terrible idea. It's kind of like a Twilight Zone kind of idea.
I think you worded it very well there. It's not a terrible idea.
No.
I wouldn't say it's a great idea. It's not a terrible
In
idea.
another director's hands, it could be quite interesting.
For something, for it being not such a bad idea, I thought the like plot reveal at the end was pretty good. The plot reveal being that this resort hotel is a like undercover like pharmaceutical research group that found out this beach has like this weird power to age people rapidly, so they can do drug testing over like a human lifetime in the span of like one day.
Yeah, right.
So they're like bringing in people to like test out drugs.
Yeah.
So it makes you think like, so what they're doing, is it morally good or morally bad? They're making drugs to save a lot of people,
I guess they're also
but
they're able to test drugs on less people as well.
right.
So they might
yeah.
be saving people also
Yeah.
through that.
But by doing that, they're putting people through like
Yeah.
traumatic horror, right?
They're also killing innocent people, because the people that are sick on the beach is not everyone. It's like a quarter of the people. Did you like guess that during the movie, before the ending?
No, I had no idea.
I guess the hint is that, so there are like 4 families on the beach, right? You have the main family, which is Gael Garcia Bernal, his wife, who found the hotel on the internet or something like that. That main family.
Can you believe it?
They have 2 kids, so there's 4 of them. And the wife, we find out, has...
And their kids are retarded, by the way.
They're fucking idiots. So the wife has a tumour, we find out, a benign tumour. We have another couple, which is Chinese-American actor Ken Leung. Do you recognise that actor?
No.
He's the detective in the first Saw movie. He's Danny Glover's partner in the first Saw movie.
Oh, okay, that would explain it. I haven't seen the first one.
Okay.
So.
He was also in Lost, which is interesting because this movie is kind of has a bit of Lost in it, right? The location,
Yeah.
a little bit like the weird ass sci-fi plot set up to it. I guess then the other group is like a British guy with his wife, his mother, and her daughter. I couldn't work out if they were a couple or not. I don't know, but
You mean the British doctor and the girl?
and the skinny bikini model kind of looking woman.
Yeah, I think they're married.
They're married, right? Okay, and it's their daughter is their. They never really act like they're married. Like, this is the thing with all of these characters. Like, I couldn't tell were they a couple or anything, because they have no chemistry at all.
There's no chemistry, and all the characters are extremely two-dimensional.
Right. Yeah.
Like one of the characters, I don't remember her name. It was the black lady.
Yeah.
She was a psychologist or a psychiatrist.
She's the Asian American
Like-
guy's wife. Yeah.
Yeah,
Right from
every line from her mouth was just like related to therapy session. Or, let's talk it out. let's share our feelings. or oh, I studied this at university. This is a so and so and so and so
Yeah.
syndrome or something like that. Everything out of her mouth,
Like-
and all the characters were like
The
that.
characters exist.
Except for the children, but the children were aliens.
The characters exist to like tell you what's happening. But they don't act like human beings would necessarily act in that situation. I guess then we also have a rapper who's already on the beach when they arrive. His girlfriend has like gone swimming out and she's disappeared. And they discover a body pretty quickly.
What's his name? What's the rapper's
I
name?
forgot. He's got a really dumbass name. I forgot his name. Did you remember?
Is his name Mid-Size Sedan?
That's it, yeah. Mid-size sedan. And who drives them to the beach?
Our dear friend M Night.
Indeed. Night.
Yep.
I guess he thinks he's Alfred Hitchcock or something, putting a little cameo in. So, yeah.
I had that exact thought actually when he appeared like in that cameo role. I immediately thought, who does he think he is? Alfred Hitchcock?
He's M. Night.
It's not the first time either. He cameos in like all of his movies.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. He pretty much appears in everything. I guess the hint is it turns out that one member of every group has some medical problem. So the main family wife, as I mentioned, has a tumour. The British guy and his wife, she has a calcium deficiency. The black woman you mentioned with her Asian American husband, she has epilepsy, right? And
Yeah.
mid-sized sedan has like a blood thinning problem, something wrong with his blood flow or something like that. So he's always having like nosebleeds. The calcium deficiency basically allows him to do this ridiculous death scene for the skin.
Oh, like the really crazy body horror one in the cave.
Yeah. I guess if you know what a calcium deficiency means for bones, you can maybe guess what happens to him. So
It's like she comes crawling out from the dark and she's all like that. It's like, what happened? Calcium deficiency.
Basically, yeah, it turns out that if you are injured in this movie, like you get cut or something like that, it heals like immediately. You know, because the healing process would be a week or something, but within a minute, a week has already passed. The part where they explain why the hair and fingernails doesn't grow, about a minute before they explain it, I literally turned to my wife and I was like, why aren't their hair and fingernails growing? And then literally a character goes, why aren't our hair and fingernails growing? I was like, yeah, I want to know. Turns out hair and fingernails are dead cells or something, so growing the same as active cells or some bollocks like that, I don't know.
Alright, I'm gonna describe a scene from this movie, and please tell me whether or not you think this is a black comedy or not.
I can tell you right now it's a black comedy. I hope so. It's supposed to be a black comedy.
So the little boy character, like the son, at this point in the movie, he is like of age, old enough to reproduce, so to speak. And he goes into a tent with the other family's daughter, and they come out, and within the span of like a couple of minutes, she's obviously pregnant, and they're like holding hands, like. And it goes from that to like she's immediately giving birth, and then it goes from giving birth to them celebrating, having a baby, and then like there's like a short scene where they're like talking, and then it cuts back to the baby, and the baby's dead, and the reason is because it was left alone for too long. It died from neglect in like 20 seconds.
If that was intentional, that's kind of genius.
Tragedy
to be
or
honest.
comedy? Worst movie or best movie?
I really get the impression that the scenes where it's like laugh out loud funny, with some of the dialogue, some of the way the characters react, I don't think it's intentional. I think it's just really, really bad writing and directing.
Yeah.
I thought Gael Garcia Bernal was awful in this movie, actually.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I could just do this random
Everybody
thing
was
where
awful.
he just turns to his wife. And him and his wife seem like not that bothered that their kids are just like losing years of their life. Like all the time.
Everyone in this movie, like something horrible will happen and they'll be bothered by it for maybe 5 seconds and
They
then
don't seem that interested.
cuts to a new scene. It's the same day. It's the same
Yeah.
like hour in the movie and they're totally on to something else. They don't even care anymore.
Yeah.
Like people can die and then they forget about it within like a minute.
Yeah, right.
I have another question for you. While watching the movie, did you notice a scene where, like, in the background of the shot, like, of the, like, sky, the horizon, there's, like, a clear, like, cut in the sky, a vertical cut, where one side of it is brighter and the other side is darker, and it's obviously, like, a mistake in, like, green screening something.
Oh, really? No, I didn't notice that.
Yeah. And when I first saw it, I thought, wow, that's a really obvious thing to miss and not like clean up before releasing. And then it happened again. It happened like 2 or 3 times in the movie in 2 different scenes where, like, if you look at the sky, it's like 2 different colors, like,
Oh, really?
like that. What kind of like major release has glaring issues like that?
Because when you're editing, you go through everything very carefully, right?
Unless it was my TV that's broken, but I highly doubt that.
I think I was laughing too much to notice, to be honest. Did you think any of the actors did anything okay in this movie? Like,
Yeah. I liked the little boy in the beginning, in the end, who like he's like
at the resort.
yeah, the little boy at the resort.
I thought the guy.
He doesn't really say much or do anything, but he was pretty cool.
I thought the boy from Hereditary wasn't terrible. He did okay.
I thought he looked familiar.
Yeah.
See, in my mind, it was all the same person, though.
So basically, the kids in the family, they're played by 4 different actors. So you've got when they first go on the beach, then they become like kind of early teens, then like 20 something, then like 40 something. But all of the other characters are they just have progressively more makeup.
Their aging is much less apparent than with the children. Another thing I thought was very unbelievable was the children don't really react much to their bodies completely changing.
No. I thought the girl, when the guy from Hereditary is in it, like that stage, his sister, she had some like really terrible acting parts. Like there's one part where she's arguing with her mum and she just turns away and starts walking down the beach, just starts screaming and talking to herself, and, like walking into the sea. That was a hilarious part. I remember that. What did you think of the deaths in the movie? We mentioned the calcium one. How about the rusty knife poisoning?
It was really dumb, but at the same time, I thought it was kind of clever. Like, dumb clever.
What I thought was...
Like, I get it, okay.
What I thought was dumb about that one before that was he's attacking Gael Garcia Bernal's character and he's like cutting him with this tiny knife because he's like going blind. So he's like, his vision's all fuzzy. And it went on for so long. Like, how many times did it cut back to him cutting him?
I thought the rusty knife scene I thought the idea was clever. You know, like introduce like tetanus and then it like quickly like kicks in. I thought it was clever but not cool. It's like, oh, I get it. Oh, that's lame. The other another death scene. There's a scene with the girl who tries to climb the rock wall and then she falls.
She passes out. Turns out that if you go behind a certain point, you like pass out. So that explains why mid-sized Sedan's girlfriend died. Like she swam out too far, she passed out, and she drowned. Yeah.
That makes
And
sense.
then the same death happens to the guy from Saw and Lost, the Asian American guy. He says, "Okay, I'm going to try and swim out around because I did swimming in high school or something."
Overall, would I recommend it? No. Would I watch it again? No.
I'd recommend it like if you're drunk and you want to have like a really hilarious. I don't know if you would get it. If
Am
you
I
were drunk.
am I glad I watched it? Yes. I'm glad I saw the movie. Though I watched it in the afternoon. I regret not watching it like with years and friends, basically.
It's kind of like
That's about it.
The Happening 2. You know.
Oh no.
The Happening too.
That is a double bill. The Happening and Old. That might be too much for some people. You need a lot of beers to get through that.
Oh no.